Hey YouTube family, it's your girl Jazzy, getting jazzy with jazz. And if y'all want to have a good time, YouTube family, just like I do, come on over. And I need y'all to go ahead and do this for me, like, comment, and subscribe. And then we gonna get the party started. Hey, good Friday evening. And it's about to be cracking when I'm done with this video. BMF season 4 and Power Trippin'. Episode 7, episode 8. But it's Power Trippin'. And shucks, we really get into the business in this episode. Whew, I was just like so amped. So let's get to it. So Meech and Terry, they go through the stores or the back room, with Loco. And then Meech and T, they say, we ain't strapped. See, and he see the Mexican police. You know how you can look through the crack, and he see the Mexican police. And then they beat them up to a pulp. And then they start stripping them. They stripped them of their pants. And T is telling Meech to stop, because they just keep shooting at their feet. But they ain't had nothing on but they underwear. And then, Terry, T, Southwest T, Terry, whichever one you want to call him. He always think that Meech be doing a lot, which sometimes he do. And he was doing a lot, and he just continued to shoot. And then T was just saying, stop. And then T is telling Meech to stop shooting and be on the lookout to not hurt the wrong people. Is that when he started voicing, and he said, be on the lookout to not hurt the wrong people. And then Purdy is in the studio, bobbing her head like this, like this, like this, like this. She getting it, she feeling it. And then she is told by Meech that she has it, and she will be the first artist that they will sign. And Purdy said that she is locked in as an R&B artist, but she says that she wants to rap. And her calling is rap. And Trail, he got her as a rap artist. And he trying to make her do any and everything. Then it skips on over, like skips on over to Lucille and her cousin. And then they both talking about she's talking about being a pastor. And she said it's hard. And she is falling in love with the fur Meech gave her. And she said, are you falling in love with the fur that Meech gave me? And then she is saying that she is struggling. And then she says that she will be pawning the ring, or she wants to pawn the coat. So she wants to pawn either one. And she said Charles is up there with Uncle Sam, and to pawn the ring, because that's what her cousin was telling her. Cousin, sister, friend, she wanted the three. And she was telling her that, Charles up there with Uncle Sam. And then just pretty much telling her that she needs to pawn that ring. I said, ooh, Lord. And then we're going to skip on over to B. Mickey. And he is going to talk to Southwest T regarding working together. And he is desperate. He is as desperate as ever. And then T say that we going to make sure you clean. Yeah, so he stripped him to just nothing but his underwear. And then he searches his boxes and all this stuff. He just trying to make sure he clean. He don't trust him, which I understand why. And once done, he puts his clothes back on and says that now we can work together. You and Hoop gonna be on the lookout. Now keep in mind, that's his name, Hoop, the bigger guy. And then Detective Brian is being an irritant about Meech and them cars. And then he says, well, guys like Ginkgo, like to spend their money in a strip club. And then he was talking to another police officer. And he was just telling him that guys like Ginkgo like to spend their money and spend their bread in the strip club. And you know, that's Meech's alias, Ginkgo. And then says, you coming? Speaking to, it's a high top fade officer. And then the officer says, no can do. He says that, Brian, you on your own. That's he on his own because he fishing and all that, and he is on his own. And then he runs to T. I mean, we run to T, asking his baby mama why she leave the hair shop, the hair salon. And she says that she has an opportunity at a new company and it's a better opportunity. And he tells her that he is proud of her and looking into getting, and she asks, is he looking into getting out the game? And he says that he's looking into getting out the game. And he asks her to hold a bag full of money. Now, it's a Gucci bag now, a Gucci bag full of money for him. And then she said she will do it for the family. And then it hops over to Meech. And Meech told he's been, you know, Loco is the Mexican guy. He's being told that he will be moving money in the car somewhere else. And he was told by Loco that he will have to talk to Pusha. And then T and Meech, they driving talking about how he has to lean on Pusha and they have to get along pretty much. And Meech trusts Pusha, and T was always a person that didn't trust him, and rightfully so. I wouldn't trust him neither. I would not trust him neither, because he moving shaky and he moving bad. He moving bad in the streets. I'm gonna give y'all a key. If y'all are not rock, but fans of shows like me, then I'm gonna tell you who Jay Pusha is. He used to play in The Wire, and he was the character Brody from The Wire. And you have to just really look at these people because they be made up and all that. But going back, I done got all off. And then, hold on, y'all. And then she was talking to her about leaving the shop, and then we get to Meech driving and talking to T, and he was telling T that he needs to trust, you know, Pusha, and they need to both get along. And he says that he will have it on. He will have it on. He will have to, and they have to get along pretty much. And then Markeisha and Boone, they talk about how he has to keep her on his side, and also that the kids, and she also tells him that the kids are doing good. And he did say, "Oh, you looking good, you know." And we know where he from. He from, I'll tell y'all should remember who he from, where he from. You can tell who it is in this episode. And then Markeisha and all that, and she was saying that it was nice seeing him, and then he asked about the kids, and she said that she'll bring the kids to see him next time. And I said, oh. And then B. Mickey and Hoop, they sitting in the car, and Hubie is trying to drown a man. Hubie, Trail, whoever, both of them, is trying to drown a man about not playing his artist song on the radio. And I'm like, oh Lord, Jesus. And then he gets mad, at her, saying that she has to do what Daddy tells her, because Purdy comes in, and then he getting mad and having an attitude with her, and then she's very, very fragile, and every time she around him, she just have to do all that to be around him, because he scares her. And I said, ooh, my. And then he just pretty much tells her that she got to do what Daddy tells her, and then she snips. She sniffed a little bit, just a little bit. And then they go to Jay Pusha, and then he talking about how he gonna get along, how they both need to get along, and how they are gonna get along. And then he says that he want to go sit. He want to go sit in the kitty section, cause then T leaves, and then T just have a heart, and he definitely is not like Meech. And then some dude coming up on Hoop little brother now. His little brother is key in this episode, and he's so sweet, and I'm like, oof. And then it pans back from them, and then it pans to Charles, and he is on his date. And she said that that this was the best date ever, and she really appreciates him. She really appreciates him for taking her out. And then she lets him know to chill. She said that this is better than her crazy ex, because she had a crazy ex-boyfriend. And then Charles. Oh yeah, it is Charles. And then he says that no problem. Then her ex rose up saying he was disrespecting Charles. Then he lets him know to chill. Then he don't let up at all. And then Charles ended up beating him up, because he trying to rough him up and trying to roll up on him and all that stuff. And I'm like, but you just need to chill. You just need to chill. Chill out. Chill out. Okay? Chill out. And I'm like, dude, you need to chill out. Chill out, chill out, chill out. And then so pretty much Charles beat him up. And he beat him up. And then she says, it's enough, it's enough, it's enough. And then he laying down on the ground. And Cece was saying, oh my God, she is in a trance. She just have never seen, I assume she ain't never seen nobody act like that. She didn't think Charles was gonna act like that. Then it pans out for them, and then it hops back over to Jay Pusher, little brother, and he gets into it with a Muslim man, saying that he pretty much owe him money, and he gonna keep coming to see him. He gonna keep coming to see him. He pretty much bullying him, and he can see that his little brother is not, in that lifestyle like that, and he just feel like he can just bitch him up pretty much, and that's why he bothering him. And I'm like, we ain't gonna do that. No. And I said, I said, look, we don't need that, because we do not need nothing happening to him. Because when I like people in these shows, I want them to stay in the shows, and I want them to stay grounded. Okay? And then it skips back over to the lovely Nicole. And then she tells Wanda that she is happy that she upgrade. This is an upgrade from her graduation hair that she didn't like. I'm like, ooh, what, Nicole? Tell her how you really feel. And she asks, what you doing, or who you doing? Cause she got a nice old hairstyle and all this stuff, and it's just like, her name is Wanda now, and then that's T's child's mother, and she reveals her boyfriend is cool, but she moved on to something better. And then she reveals that he is T Driver. And Wanda said, this is too close to home, girl. Be careful, be careful, be careful. And then we're going to run back to B Mickey and Hoop, seeing Marquisha talking to this dude on a lunch date. And then B Mickey pretty much said, then Hoop, he was like, he said, Terry ain't gonna be happy about that. And B Mickey said, she got Boom, and then she got this dude, this light-skinned dude, and then she got T. She just doing too much, and then she just signing him pretty much on all kinds of levels. And then, Hoop, he said he was gonna talk to him. He was gonna talk to T. He was gonna tell him everything. And he pretty much said he gonna feel away. He gonna feel away. And then it paying back to Michi Poo. And he said he had everything set up for Purdy to reel out, cause she going to the Source Awards, 1995 Source Awards, or 1998, one of them. It's one of them. I promise you, y'all. I had it in my notes, but I don't have it no more. But they was, she was getting drunk and all that stuff, and she is happy. And Meech says that you deserve it, and you get to drink luxury champagne. And then she letting him know that I can tell that you gonna have the best of the best champagne. And then he just pretty much said, you deserve it. And then he said, go get ready. And then it skipped over to Lucille looking at the receipt from the pawn shop. And Charles scares her to let her know that he will be going on tour. And she says, all dry. That's good. That's good. And she tells Charles that she has been trying to apply for welfare. And Charles said that he thought that she would be happy for him, but he see that she ain't gonna never be happy for him, which she not. And he said that he would get out of her hair. And he said he see that Lucille is not happy for him, and he talking about that she just want to have access to free money. And he said he'll be out of her hair soon. When he returned from tour, he said he'll be on tour in 2 months. And then she don't care. Lucille don't care. Because she keeps saying, we divorced. We divorced. Did y'all know that they was divorced? They're divorced. And then it skips back over to Nicole, and she is smoking, and she is doing the do with T.O. boy, the driver that he hired to drive her around. And see, Wanda said that this was too close to home, y'all. And they get it in, and then they kiss, smooch, and then he said, let me wipe this off because it smells like lip gloss. And she said, it's cherry. He said, well, can I have another one? And then she said, you ready? And I said, ooh. So you know what happened? And then Isaac Roberts is the dude that, Marquisha was trying to get information from the cop on so that she can take it back to Boone because he was talking about it. And then it goes back to Purdy, and Trail and Purdy said she loves the clothes. And then he just appeared, and then he just being too much and all that. And he was like, wait. What you doing? You out here, you look. But that's a couple of more lines later. And then Meech says that it's good to see his pretty little thing that is styling Purdy. And y'all pretty much remember the girl that said her name was I want to say it was some Hispanic name. And he had something to say, the little lady that he met. And I promise you I'm bad with names, y'all. And then she said, well, she's styling her. And she pretty much know what she doing. And then Brian is at the Palace Club, the Palace Strip Club. And he sees Duff. And then, that's Meech's old boy, Terry's old boy. Both of their old boy. And then the girl was a distraction. And she figured out pretty much that that's what he was up in there trying to do, distract and all that stuff. And then she said, you like this? Do you like this? Is this your thing? Is this your thing? Do you like this? Do you like this? And then I said, And the girl in the club says, Daddy, you like all this that I got going on? You like all this ass? And then, of course, Duff notices him, and he gets gone like the wind, of course. And then she say she ain't opening. She ain't gonna open up for nothing. Before he get real disrespectful and tell her to F off, F away from him. I said, obsessed. Everybody know that man is obsessed. And then it pans back to a little happier time. But Purdy is getting styled for the Source Awards, and Meech wants to know what she thinks of Big Meech. And this is girl that he met. I want to say Diana. I want to say her name was Diana. It was some Hispanic name though. I think I'm either Diana or Selena, one of them. And then he said, "What do you think?" And then, you know, he came in. Let me tell you what Meech did. He came up in the styling and all that stuff. And then he was like, "What you think? What you think of Big Meech?" And she said she wants to know, you know, she wants to own her own makeup line. They having a conversation and all this stuff. And he asked her, do she want to style other people? Do she want to do makeup on other people forever? And she said, no, I don't. But she says that I'm just into it, just trying to see, because I want to have my own makeup line. And she said that she's going to be, you know, she knows that, you know, certain skin tones and everything, she want to be able to find, you know, the right skin tones for a lot of African American women. And that's it. And then Demetrius comes back because she told him, she said, because he looking good now. He got on his white suit where he finna wear to the Source Awards now. And then she told him when he, you know, come back to her when he is Demetrius, because right now he is in Big Meech mode. And then B Mickey gets the money for his baby surgery, but is told by Big Guy, good luck with the surgery. And he said he want to know if they back in, if T gonna let him back in. And he just pretty much say that what you gonna have to do is you gotta take that up with T. I don't know what y'all got going on, but y'all gotta take that up with T. And he said pretty much he out of it. So we gonna get it on back down. And then he gave him so much money, and he told him, good luck with your baby surgery. And he said, we'll be in touch. I said, they gonna be in touch, all right. And then they arrive at the Source Awards, and they see so many people. And I want to say this was the 1999 Source Awards. I want to say it is, because I remember all these parts that they were including. And I want to say it was the 99 Source Awards. And then they show all other people. And then they arrive, and then they see Bone Thugs and Harmony's dressing room. And then they show Busy Bone. I said, look at me look at me getting all these people. And then they show Lil' Kim. And then they show the Notorious B.I.G. And then they show Lil' Kim. And then they show Foxy Brown, and she the one who was talking to Purdy, and she was just telling her that she looked good and she looked pretty and she gonna do good. And she was just giving her all the big ups and the props and talking to her and telling her that she looked good and telling her pretty much not to be nervous. She was helping her calm her nerves. And then Stomping Ground Records is what they record label is called. Stomping Ground Records. And then this Meech and Terry record label. Yeah. And I used to have the Source magazine, because I used to get it, well, not me personally, but my grandma used to get the magazine subscriptions. So I had the Source magazine, and I do particularly remember this edition. And I remember the awards too. So that was just showing everybody that was there. And then Meech was pretty much just saying that what we seeing the East Coast and the West Coast, because the East Coast pretty much now got it on lock. And then he said that, but the West Coast, they coming to take over. They coming to take over. And then he talked about the South too. He said the South gonna come up in there too. I said, yeah, you sure right, you sure right. And then, you know, Trail come. He says, what the fuck she doing with these ninjas? And then he said, F that, let's go Purdy. And then she says that I signed with them. Then he says, y'all want her raggedy ass? Because I made her. I'm like, oh, baby, shut up. Which I keep saying. And then Trail, he says that y'all want her raggedy ass? I send y'all the contracts. Because that's what T was pretty much saying. He said that he'll buy her out of the record label. They both said that they'll buy her out the record label. And then he said, you just don't know how much money that she worth. You just don't know how much money that she worth. And I'm like, rah, 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 rah. And I'm like, boy, Jesus. And then before he said that he will send them contracts, and Purdy says, don't let the suit fool you. And this is what she told T and Meech. Don't let the suit fool you, because he is crazy. And I'm like, they said F that. Come on. And I'm like, ain't nothing gonna scare them, really? I love Incy Beansy record label exec that think he more and scaring the ladies and all that stuff, trying to entice power and all that stuff. I'm like, psh. And I do remember that, like I said, I remember the Flannery brothers and all that stuff. I used to watch some court shows and some court dates and all that stuff. And then I read a lot of magazines, and I just remember a lot of this. So they have a good time at the Source Awards, and then they go and and she's just so excited, and she was just so happy, and she told them again, she said thank you, and then they paying off for them. And then it's the good part. Now Jay Pusha, he meets with the Connect, and the Connect will say, where's the Meaches? Where's the Meaches? They looking for Meach. And then his little snot, I said, look, this ninja is a snake. And Terry told you that though. He told Meech that Jay Pusha was a snake. And he definitely was trying to snake him. Because he met with his Connect and trying to steal all his business from up under him. And then it's just like a thing of Meech was a little green. So that part, because I'm like, T told you, and you didn't want to hear nothing that T said. You never wanted to listen to T. And he told you about how he is. And he told you how he work and how he run. And then I'm like, he finna do exactly what T said. And T said that he was gonna steal your business. And that was the end. And that was the end of the episode. And again, I want y'all to do me a favor, y'all, because this episode was so lit. And then it dubbed into the Source Awards and all that stuff. So it was all lit and all that stuff. So I want y'all to do me a favor, YouTube. I want y'all to like, comment, and subscribe. I want y'all to, again, like, comment, and subscribe. And y'all need to watch this episode, too. After y'all watch the episode, then come back and look at my review. Because I think I pretty much gave y'all the real and kind of summed it up for y'all. But if y'all want more details, y'all need to watch the show. This show was lit, y'all. I love BMF. This is one of my favorite shows to review. And then BMF and then The Shy. So they neck and neck. And then this show gives me the vibe of when I used to watch The Wire. And then the other show, The Corner. If y'all remember The Corner. Then I watched The Corner, and then I used to watch The Wire. But Bye YouTube. I'm gonna get this video uploaded for y'all. I'm loving how the quality of the video look. Bye YouTube. See y'all later. And YouTube, that was the video, and what I want y'all to do is like, comment, and subscribe. Again, like, comment, and subscribe. Bye YouTube family.